I'm Dale Smith for Looney Politics, and the Parliamentary Budget Officer has got himself in a spot of trouble. A few weeks ago, he quietly put on his website that some of his numbers in his rather infamous carbon price report were wrong, and these are the numbers relating to the total impact on the Canadian economy. It turns out that he conflated a bunch of the industrial carbon price numbers in with the consumer carbon price numbers, and it's no longer accurate. But he also said he's not going to put out an updated model until the fall. But in the meantime, this has been a highly charged and very political report. And he doesn't want to really take responsibility for any of these actions that he's done. In the meantime, he's also been defensive and prevaricating. And one of the things he has used to defend himself is said that the government, meaning Environment and Climate Change Department, had sent him some figures and asked him not to make them public. And this was seen as kind of a conspiracy that we're trying to gag him. But it was really nothing of the sort. There was no secret report because it wasn't secret and it wasn't a report. What he had been provided with was a data set, which is not a report, and it's common practice not to publish individual data sets outside of a report because they aren't necessarily complete and don't necessarily have all of the necessary context. And that's what happened in this particular case. After a lot of outcry over this so-called secret report, which again was not secret and not a report, the government did release that data set, and with the caution that what the numbers show are precisely what the parliamentary budget was asking for, which was the economic impact of this one specific program, and without any of the other associated costs or benefits or anything else that might result from it. So the Conservatives like to say that this is vindication and it shows that the carbon price is having this terrible impact on the economy, but any change the government makes will have an impact on the economy. And it's a question of what the trade-offs are when it comes to this particular model, or what it would be with whether it was regulation or emissions caps or not doing anything at all, and the cost of climate change that comes along with that. None of that is presented in comparison with this one particular data set. So it's hard to say that this is vindication and that it proves that the carbon price is destructive to our economy, because actual climate change is even more destructive to our economy. And you only need to ask people like the Insurance Bureau of Canada about the billions of dollars that are being spent now because of climate-related impacts. So that also has an impact on the economy, which is not being measured by the Parliamentary Budget Officer in this case. So in the meantime, we've got this narrative that the government has been secretive and trying to gag the Parliamentary Budget Officer, which isn't true. And the Parliamentary Budget Officer not taking responsibility for his actions, especially on a report that was so highly political like this one. It means that the Parliamentary Budget Officer really should be resigning. But in the meantime, we have to deal with his intransigence and his not putting out an updated report until the fall. Meanwhile, this whole particular thing is continuing to fester, and that's not really good for something that an officer of parliament should be dealing with as part of his job. For Looney Politics, I'm Dale Smith.